Good morning, students. Today, let us continue with the fourth module, that is second part, the second half part, statistical process control. Today's topics to be discussed are fundamentals of statistics and control charts, as we discussed in the previous session. In the previous session, quality control tools. Uh, so we'll continue with that control charts. First, fundamentals of statistics. So let us know some basic terms and simple uh, problems or examples to know the fundamentals of the statistics. Already we know what is statistics, but what are the basic terms and simple things we need to know in statistics. So there are two terms, measures of central tendency and measures of dispersion. First, measures of central tendency. It is a measure of central tendency, or it is a summary statistic that represents the center point or typical value of a data set. These measures indicate where most values in a distribution fall and are also referred to as central location of a distribution. So finally, where the data set or the summarized statistics is going to attain the value, where its direction is going, we will come to know in this measure of central tendency. The most common measures of central tendency are mean, median, and mode. Each of these measures calculate the location of the central point using different method. So first one, mean. The mean, commonly referred to as the average, is the sum of all the data items divided by the number of data items. So it is nothing but the average. Whatever we call average, it's the mean. Second one, median. The median is the middle number in a set of data that is ordered from least to greatest. If there is an even number of data, you take the average of the middle two number to find the median. So you arrange the or sort the data from least to greatest. Then try to find the mean. If it is odd, you will directly find the median. If it is even number, take the average of the middle two numbers. Then mode. The mode is the number that occurs most often. So which is repeated more times, that is the mode of that data set. So we'll see some simple problems to know what's mean, median, and mode. The first example, it is for the mean. So data set is given. So let the data set be S with the values 5, 10, 15, 20, and 30. So mean of the set is the make summation of all these data or data values 5, 10, 15, 20, and 30. So the summation is 80 divided by 5, since there are 5 terms or 5 data divided by 5, so you will get the mean 16. So the mean of the data set is 16. Second example, median. Find the median of the set. 2, 4, 4, 3, 8, 67, and 23 is given in the data set. So as we can see, list is not arranged in order. First arrange it in order. 2, 3, 4, 4, 8, 23, 67. The list contains 7 items. So the middle term is the fourth one. So that is the median is 4. You have to see the data in the arranged values. So as I said earlier, if the list contains n terms where n is odd number, the median will be n plus 1 by 2. We'll see in the next problem. For example, third example, example 3. Find the median of the set 11, 22, 33, 55, 66, and 99. Already data is arranged. So here there are 7 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 6 terms. Hence, the average of the third and fourth term will be median. So, third term is the 33, fourth term is 55. So, take the average of 33 plus 55 divided by 2, that will be 44. So, in case of odd number of the terms, you can take directly the middle number. In case of the even number of terms, you take the average of the middle two terms. Next, last one is the mode. So find the mode of the set. Again, the data set is given 2, 3, 5, 5, 7, 3 times 9 and 10, 12. So here 2, 3, 7, 10 and 12 each have occurred only once, and 5 2 times, 9 3 times. So which is the more recurring or occurring term? 9. So 9 is the mode. One more example we will see. Example 5. Find the mode of the set 2, 5, 5, 6, 8, 8, 9, 11. So again, in this case there are two modes, because 5 and 8 both are repeated 2 times. So other numbers only 1 time. So the mode, there are two modes for this series, 5 and 8 both. So next, measures of dispersion. First, measures of central tendency is over. Second measure is measures of dispersion. There are two types, range and standard deviation. Let us discuss. First one, range. Range is the interval between the highest and the lowest score. It is a measure of variability or scatteredness of the varieties or observations among themselves, and does not give an idea about the spread of the observations around some central value. So range, it is the difference between the highest and lowest term. For example, see the following series: 20, 35, 25, 30 and 15. This is the distributed data. To find the range of this, so highest value is 35, least value is 15, so the difference is 20. So the range of this series is 20. Next, standard deviation. The standard deviation, it is a statistic that measures the dispersion of a data set relative to its mean, and is calculated as square root of the variance. So variance is given xi minus x bar divided by n and whole square. So standard deviation is denoted by sigma, and the formula is given: sigma equal to square root of summation of xi minus x bar whole square divided by n. So let us make it more clear with the example. See, find the mean respiration rate per minute. So it may be data related to health or clinical data it has taken. Find the mean respiration rate per minute and its standard deviation when in 4 cases the rate was found to be 16, 13, 17 and 22. So 4 values are given. So mean, you know how to take the mean. So mean is the x bar here. So mean of the 4 terms is addition of all the 4 terms divided by 4, that is 68 by 4, it is equal to 17. So sigma x we will get 68, and the difference, we have to take difference of this difference between this mean or the average and the data values. So d equal to x minus x bar. X is 16, x bar, that is mean, 17. 16 minus 17, that is minus 1. Right side, d square. So take the square of this d or difference. So minus 1 square is the 1. Similarly for 13, the difference is 13 minus 17, that's equal to minus 4, and the square is 16. Third one, 17. 17 minus 17 is 0, and the square is 0. Last one, 22. 22 minus 17 is 5, square is 25. So finally we'll get d square, that is the summation of d square, that is sigma d square equal to 42. Add 1 plus 16 plus 0 plus 25, that gives the value 42. So sigma d square is 42, sigma x is 68. So standard deviation according to the formula, sigma d square root of sigma d square divided by n, that is square root of 42 divided by 4 equals to 3.2. So standard deviation is 3.2. Next, second topic need to be discussed today is control charts. Control chart is a graphical representation of the collected information, and it indicates whether process is in control or out of control. It determines process variability and detects unusual variations taking place in a process. It ensures product quality level. Classification of control charts. So control charts can be classified broadly in two ways: variable, that is control charts for variables, and control charts for attributes. So again, in variables there are two types, X bar and R bar chart, and there are again four types in attribute charts also. We'll discuss later, P, NP, C and U charts. So first, control chart for variable charts. On a sample control chart is given here. It is not a particular for a variable or a attribute. A sample how control chart looks like. So you see the three lines: LCL, CL and UCL. LCL is the lower control limit, CL is the control limit, and uppermost is upper control limit. So if the data is represented out of these upper control limit or lower control limit, that is, if it is below lower control limit or above the upper control limit, it is said to be out of control. Second, in between you can see in control. So where the variation should be in between LCL and UCL, that is lower control limit and upper control limit, that's called in control. And if there are some defects, whenever we remove the defects or improve the system or the process, then the variation of the data is close to the central line. CL is the central line, so it will be close to the central line, so that is process has improved. So if the variation is more closer to the central line, that is the best process, we can say. So coming back to the control charts, first we said control charts for variables. There are two types we discussed, X bar and R chart. Variable control charts plot variable or continuous data. Type of data plotted on the chart include like length, breadth, part, height, weight, time, velocity. So physical quantity which can be measured with the continuous or variables. Normally X bar chart for central tendency and R chart for dispersion are used. So formulas are given here. X bar summation of x1 to xn divided by n. N is the number of observations. So upper control limit formula is given, x double bar plus a2 into r bar. X double bar formula also given, you see right side, sigma of x1 bar to x k bar. So k is the number of subgroups. So upper control limit and lower control limit formulas are given. So upper control limit, it will be with plus a2 into r bar, and lower control limit will be minus a2 into r bar. Similarly for R chart, that is range. Range, you know, maximum is the difference between maximum and minimum. So again for range also upper control limit is d4 into r bar, lower control limit d3 into r bar, where r bar is the summation of r1 to rk divided by k. So in these formulas, you just see there are three terms which you don't know, A2, then D3 and D4. So these you don't worry, these are the constant values which you can get it from the statistical tables. See here, like in other design data handbook, as you see the follow the values from the table. Similarly here also you need to just take the data directly from this table. In the books also it is given usually at the end of the books. See, subgroup size it's given from 2 to 25. The corresponding values of A2, small d2, capital D3 and D4 are given. For you only A2 and capital D3 and D4 are necessary. For subgroups 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, D3 value will be nil or 0. So you can refer this chart whenever you try to calculate the upper control limit and lower control limit for X bar and R charts. So typical one example is taken here, how it is calculated, X bar and range, X upper control limit. One more small upper warning and lower warning is also given, but that's not needed. You just say how it's calculated by with the formula. Here in the formula you can see X double bar plus A2 factor into R bar. So finally you will reach the value 4.07. Like this. For lower control limit the value is 1.88. Similarly for range, upper control limit is 3.42 with the formula R bar into D4 factor. For lower control limit, R bar into D3 factor. So you will attain the value 0 because D3 is 0 for 1.5. Okay. Second type of control charts, as I said, it is control charts for attributes. So what are attributes, right? You see, many quality characteristics cannot be measured conveniently. See, if a mirror is a scratched one, or if I give a fruit to you, how you measure the quality of the fruit, whether it is suitable for eating or not, right? For example, color, it depends upon the person to person, right? Attribute, the quality here, it depends or differs from person to person. So this type of data, for these type of data we will measure, or the control charts are plotted with the different types of charts. They are called P chart, NP chart, C chart and U chart. So let us see what are these charts. First one, for non-conforming units, so which are based on binomial, binomial. Second one, non-conformities which are based on Poisson distribution. So there are two types of attribute charts. They are chart for non-conforming units, also known as defective chart. They are P chart and NP chart. And chart for non-conformities called as defect chart, that is C and U chart. So where P, NP, C and U, all these indicate the defects. Or in simple words, P chart used for fraction non-conforming, NP chart used for number non-conforming. So that's why N, number non-conforming. C chart used for non-conformities when a constant sample is used. U chart used for number of non-conformities when a varying sample size is used. So only difference is with the formula for all type of charts. One sample simple problem I have taken, calculate the trial center line and control limits. Okay, we'll see the values later. First, just see the formula. Upper control limit for P chart is P bar plus 3 into square root of P bar into bracket 1 minus P bar bracket complete divided by small n. Similarly, for lower control limit, p bar minus 3 square root of p bar into bracket 1 minus p bar bracket complete divided by small n. So p bar, that is the average of p for n number of subgroups. N is number inspected in the subgroup or the observations. So just go on concentrating on the formula. P and P and C, you all these indicate or denote the defects. See, one simple problem we have taken subgroups. It's mentioned here from 1 to 25. There are subgroup number 1 to 25. Number inspected in all cases it is constant, that is 300. NP it is given, that is defect. NP type defects are 12, 3, 9, 4, like this it goes up to last for 25 it is 2. Similarly, P type of defects it's also given here, 0.04 fraction, as we said, 0.010, like that it goes. To calculate the upper control limit and lower control limit, at the maximum you may be asked to calculate the upper control limit and lower control limit and plot the graph. So p bar with for upper control limit we got the value with the formula as we discussed earlier with 0.041, and for lower control limit we got the value 0. So P chart, you see here, to check just where is the value of the P. For the 19th subgroup number inspected, that is same 300, NP is 16 and P is 0.053. So this is indicated here 0.053. Just to show a sample, it is shown here where the data exists in the graph. Next, coming to the NP chart, only thing formula are different. So for upper control limit, again here NP naught plus 3 root of NP naught into bracket 1 minus P naught. Lower control limit NP naught minus 3. So just upper control limit is plus 3. Here it is minus 3. So just concentrate on the formula for all type of charts. Again, example is taken. So n is same 300, NP 364, 620, like this till 25th of subgroup the values are given, and upper control limit and lower control limits are drawn for the NP bar chart with the formula here. Already with the formula it is calculated and they are drawn here. See, when we plot the graph with the formula, for each one we will get the upper control limit and the lower control limit. X-axis represents subgroup number, so from 1 to 25. Then y-axis number non-conforming, where you have to draw the upper and lower control limits. Similarly, for C chart, so the procedure for C chart are same as for the B chart. Again, only formula differs. Upper control limit C bar plus 3 root of C bar. So C bar is root of C divided by G, average count of non-conformities. It's given. Lower control limit minus 3 into root of C bar. So upper always plus, lower minus. So example again given here. Subgroup, with respect to subgroup, the values of the C is given, upper control limit is given, lower control limit will be 0, and C bar we have attained 5.64. So again with the formula, the upper control and lower control limit values are plotted against x and y axis. The last one is U chart. The U chart is mathematically equivalent to the C chart. So it is same as C chart. Only thing is U equal to C by N. and u bar, that is the mean, is sigma of c divided by sigma of n, that is summation of c divided by summation of n. Again upper control limit with the formula u bar plus 3 root of u bar divided by n, lower control limit u bar minus 3 square root of u bar divided by n. So only you just see the formula. Again with the example subgroup from 30 January, so daily basis, on daily basis the subgroup number and its observations are given. For all n, c and u is given, and upper control limits and lower control limits values we attained for. This is for u bar. You just see u bar. For u bar we got 1.20. The mean of u is 1.20. So just for 30th January only we will see the value where it occurs. See, for 30th January we know u is c by n, so 120 by 110. How? So c is 120, n is 110, so u is c by n, that we got 1.091. Similarly for other days also. So upper control limit we got 1.51, lower control limit we got 0.89. This is for January 30 only. Similarly the upper control limit and lower control limit for all days, 31st, 1st, 2nd February, 3rd February, all these are calculated. Once you calculate upper and lower control limits, you plot the graph. See here, for U chart we have plotted. Out of control values we will decide it later, because it depends on where we set the which is the mean or standard value for variation. So with different ink it is shown here. For blue color lower control limit, red color upper control limit. This is, and u bar with the black dots. So again x axis with subgroup number, y axis count of non-conforming unit. So only thing you need to know the formula, and with the formula calculate upper and lower control limit and plot the graph. So this completes the fourth module. Let us know any of your doubts in the afternoon. I and Rahul sir will be there here for any of your queries, and please all of you attend the quiz. Quiz is a must and it will be considered for your IA marks. So any queries, let us know and attend the quiz compulsorily. Thank you.